Hi, and welcome once again to Breed Abundance. Yeah, you're welcome. In the last two videos, we talked about spending management, and today will be the last video on spending. Our advice, if you've not watched the last two videos, please take time to watch the last two videos because it will make all the pieces to come together and you have a clearer view of spending and how to manage your spending. So today we're just looking at few practical tips here and there. I know I gave some in the last video, but we're looking at a few more practical tips that can actually help us to manage our spending. So the first one we look at is the rule of alternatives. Rule of alternatives. There is an alternative to virtually everything in life. There are usually alternatives. We just need to take time, to check out the alternatives we have. I remember there was a time that imported cereal was actually getting very expensive, and it was getting expensive not because the quality was so far better than locally produced cereals, but it was getting more expensive because of the fluctuation in foreign exchange. So I looked at it. I was going to spend a lot more, just on cereal. So okay, what could I do? I checked out alternatives to some of the cereals my children normally take, and I decided to try out one. The first time I tried out an alternative, they saw the pack and immediately they were like, no, this is not this particular cereal we take and all that. So when they were eating it, they already biased because it was a different pack. So when they were eating it, they were giving me feedback. They were not very objective. So I tried the second one. So when I tried the second one, what I did was I already removed the pack before I got home. So I didn't allow them to see the pack. I wanted an objective feedback about the cereal. So I tried the second alternative and they tasted it and they complained about it still. So I took time to taste it as well and I saw that the taste was quite not nice. So I tried the third alternative I found in the market and I removed the pack as well, yes, so that they will have an objective feedback. And when they took this particular one, they were like, oh, this is nice. Thank you, mommy has gone back to her normal cereal. I just smelled. The main thing is that it's nice, it's good, the quality was okay, and they were fine with it. And we're good. And I was able to save about 50% off that particular cereal just by getting an alternative. This is not to tell us to go for cheaper things. This is just trying to let us know that most times there are alternatives. The alternative is necessarily not of a lower quality. Sometimes the alternative is of the same quality, but some economic factors are just affecting the price of the other one. Like I said, in this case, it was just foreign exchange fluctuations that affected the price of the imported one, not that the quality was far better and that's why the price differential was so much. So there are usually alternatives to whatever we spend money on. So let's check out the alternatives. There might be one or two that will be able to meet our need. Another thing is power of small saving. Power of small saving. So if you check Uber, even Uber has something they call Uber ride share or something. I can't remember exactly what they call it, but it's a situation or a scenario where you can, ride or co-ride with someone else that is going in your direction, just for you to be able to save on your spending. Another option you have here when it comes to small savings there and there is carpool. You're staying in an environment, you have a colleague that is staying not too far from you and probably another colleague that is somewhere down on your way towards your office. The three of you can drive together. Instead of the three of you putting your car on the road every single day, fueling it and maintaining the car, one person A can actually be the one taking his car to the office this week and all of you ride with person A. So that week person A fuels the car and all the expenses of the car will be on him. The second week, person B puts his own car on the road and the three of you co-ride. And the third week, person C puts his own car on the road or her own car on the road and the three of you co-ride. So at the end of the day, you'll be spending less on fuel and probably spending less on car maintenance because your car is doing less work now. There's less pressure on your car and you actually even have probably more time to relax in the car on days that you are not the one doing the driving. So there's power of small savings when it comes to you can carpool, then you can have Uber ride share, and you can just save little, money here and there. So there's another particular expense that has been discovered is taking a chunk of people's money. I know people don't realize it because it goes out in trickles, and you don't even know you're already spending a lot by the time you add it up at the end of the day. So this is actually eating out. It has been discovered that eating out actually go up a lot of money from a lot of people. But because it's just 500 naira here today, 200 naira here tomorrow, $10 here today, $5 here tomorrow, we don't know that we're actually spending a lot. By the time you had it all up at the end of a month, that is when you will know what is coming to. Let us learn to plan our meals. We can eat out, yes, but can we reduce the number of times we eat out? I remember there was a time we went to eat out as a family, and at the end of the day, five of us, I checked how much we spent, and I checked the list of what I buy in the market, and I saw that money can buy like a pack of turkey, a pack of chicken, and a pack of fish that will last us for almost a month. I'm like, wow, so that's how much you spend just sitting there eating one single meal, as one single meal in a day. Wow. But this is not to say that we won't eat out as family. This is not to say that we won't enjoy ourselves and just eat what we feel like eating outside our regular meals at home. But this is to just bring it to our consciousness that we need to watch how often we eat out. We need to watch, how many times in a month we eat out, because this all adds to the bottom line. So let's plan our meals. Going to the office, you can plan your meal and cook and take your meal to school, to the office, or pack meals for your children to school, instead of everybody having to spend money to eat out every single day. So we can save some money by making meals at home. And beyond even saving money, is that most times preparing your meals at home is usually more healthy, because you're conscious of the type of oil you're using, you're conscious of the quantity of salt, sugar you're adding to the meal. Unlike when you buy out, most restaurants, most eateries actually sell taste. Most restaurants are not that conscious about being healthy. They just want to sell taste. They want to taste their meal and enjoy it and have a good taste with it. They don't really care most times about what goes into the meal. So when we eat at home, as much as we are saving money, we are also most times eating healthier than if we eat out. So let's watch how much we spend eating out. It's very important. I was speaking with a colleague of mine, and she told me how much she has saved during COVID on just eating out. That was when she realized how much she spent on a monthly basis eating out in the office. She said she's been saving like about $300 on a monthly basis just by eating at home. $300 per month times 3 months in a year, that's $3,600 times 10 years, that's $36,000. So sometimes all this little money here and there, we don't know what this money can turn to at the end of the day. Like they say, a little drop here and there at the end of the day make an ocean. So it's very important. Another practical tip is event attire. Most times it's ladies that are usually a culprit of this. Sometimes some guys too are actually very fashion conscious. When it comes to events, you don't have to buy attire for every single event. There are times that in different events they have their color codes and all that. If the color code for this event is pink and you have like 2 different pink attires at home, why must you buy another one? Just pick one, dress up and look good. That's what matters. You don't have to buy a new attire for every single event. I can assure you, if some of us can reduce the number of attires we buy because we want to attend different events, we will see that we have a lot of savings. So let's watch this too. Event attire. Let's watch how often we buy attires because we want to attend a particular event. Bulk buying is something that will help too. There are some items that if we buy in bulk, it becomes cheaper. So we can look at some of the things that we can actually buy in bulk instead of buying, in pieces. And buying in bulk will actually make it cheaper and help us spend less. And this will actually help. And the last one I'll talk about is peer pressure. Avoid peer pressure when it comes to spending money. So people want to make you feel bad. I remember when I was in business development, I was always on the road. I had a car and I had a driver because I was always on the road. So I needed a driver so that while I'm on the road, I can walk. And while the driver is, driving me to wherever I was having a meeting or a presentation or going for a consultation or something. So after a while, after about some years in business development, I actually moved to head office. And I discovered that I didn't need a driver. The reason why I needed a driver initially was because I needed someone to be driving me while I go around, for my meetings and all that. Now I'll be in the office from 8 to 5 p.m. I won't be paying the driver to just get into the office and sleep all day and get me back home. I discovered that I didn't need that driver anymore. So I asked him to go. And after a while, I discovered that in my office at the time we had star buses, and there was a star bus in particular that would pass through my the area where I was living, and I just had to trek like 5 minutes or so from my house to get to where the star bus would pick me up. So I thought about it. The star bus was very convenient. Somebody would be driving me, very convenient bus, and I'll get to work and the bus will bring me back home. So I stopped driving. I started joining the star bus. Do you know, some people were like, oh, really? Oh, doing you that you had a driver and a car, now you're jumping on star bus? As in, I didn't get what she was saying initially, but after a while, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, so what about it? Having a car and a driver is not a status thing. It was meeting a need. I needed a driver because I needed to meet a need. I was using the car at the time because I needed to meet a need because I was always on the road. I couldn't be using taxis, and Starbucks would not move me from one location to another. So I needed a car and a driver. But right now, I didn't need it at the time. So I had to stop it. But some people will want to, like, peer pressure you into doing something that is not necessary just to feel good. Like, yeah, you have a car and a driver. How does that matter? How does that add to the bottom line? If I didn't need a driver anymore, I don't. So why should I keep one? If I can co-ride, why must I put my car on the road? So don't allow anybody peer pressure you into spending money that you can save or use for something else. It's very, very important. So with these few tips, let's see the ones we can start practicing. Let's see the one we can start using so that we can learn to bring down our spending or our cost and be able to have more money to save and to invest. So to round up this series on spending, I would like to say, don't spend money that you don't have. Don't spend money that you don't have. Have a spending list each time you go shopping and try to stick to your list. Give yourself a treat once in a while because you still have to spend years. So set aside a little amount here and there to give yourself a treat, because if you ignore yourself, after a while you now feel that, oh, I want to give myself a special treat. You now end up overdoing it and spending all the things you think you have saved for the past few weeks or few months. So leave room for little money here and there to give yourself a treat so that you don't end up overdoing it. Also, pay attention to your daily spending habits. Pay attention to your daily spending habits. And remember that the little savings always add up. The little savings always add up. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to hit the subscribe button, like and share our videos. Like I always say, it's good we learn together, we grow together, and we get better together. So like and share our videos with your friends and your loved ones so that we can all get better together. Thank you for watching once again, and keep breeding abundance.